Oh, hooked up. There we go. Hooked up.
Start the day.
There we go.
Arbor Lake. It's about a 128-acre lake near Poplarville, Mississippi. They got some nice bass in here. Last spring they caught a 14.3 this time of year, so we decided to get out here on a Friday morning. Our buddy David was nice enough to ask us over here, and we're gonna try and catch a nice bass for y'all today. Welcome to Keep On Castin. So Ronnie called me last week and wanted to go fish this private lake, and to be honest, I jumped at the opportunity. I was excited to come out here. I heard a lot about this lake. It's a 180-acre lake out here. So we met David last night. Like we said, we had a little captain's meeting, came up with a plan, came out here, had a great day fishing, caught some really nice fish. Dude, my kids would be swimming in this lake every day.
Yeah, the wind did pick up a little bit. Today we're gonna throw these one knockers. As you can see, you know, it's in a shad pattern, you know, real shiny. You have a little bit different bait that I have. This is a one knocker. Matter of fact, this bait's not even made anymore. Booyah ended up taking over this bait. What we're gonna do is, naturally everybody thinks about the spawn, you know, let's get up tight to the bank, let's go on ahead and fish that are on the bed. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fish some of those fish that are still feeding and off the bank a little bit. Either they're staging up or they're going back to deeper water. So we catching them in between right now. And we'll move up probably sometime during the day and see if we can find some of those fish that are a little shallower. This is your first time fishing bedding fish? If we do have the opportunity to do that?
Not the first time, but I'm sure you can show me some tricks.
I hope I can, man. Had to get them. Yeah, Bo. Looks like we hooked up on another one.
There you go, buddy.
Oh! There we go. Glad we wasn't in a tournament. I'd hear my partner hollering, you can't put that fish in the boat?
So you retrieving slow or fast?
Well,
kind of feathering it?
To be honest, yeah, I was working. I saw a little shad kind of move on the corner, so I said, let me get on over there before he gets away. So I said, well, let me throw this old one knocker up there. You said the one knocker's doing pretty good. You can get away from the two knocker.
I might have to.
And then
always been a two knocker man, but
I kind of, yeah, well, yeah, I understand that. So what I did was I kind of just let it feather down a little bit and popped it and jumped on it. So.
Hooked up,
Bo, you got one.
Hooked up, baby. Woo! Not a little male.
Another buck.
Boy, there's some pretty little fish in here. They're healthy too. So they're probably feeding on shad right now. They might be on the beds a little bit. He hit it pretty good.
He smoked it?
Yeah. Be still, boy.
That's what I like about a doctor. He's got the tools to take those fish off with.
Dude. Just trying to save my hands.
I don't blame you.
Pretty little fish. All right, let him go. Oh, hooked up.
Hooked up. Oh.
That's a little baby. Don't need the pliers for this one. Need to get on those big sows, dude. Let him go.
Hooked up, hooked up, hooked.
There he is. Come on, babe. Oh.
It's a better one.
Oh yeah, come on, babe. All right. Not bad. A little bit better. They're getting bigger.
I think I'm gonna have to go out there and get one now, man.
Pretty fish.
You know Grafton Dermatology as one of Louisiana's premier skincare and skin cancer treatment centers. Grafton Dermatology will bring your beautiful body to its healthy fullest. Grafton Dermatology provides advanced treatment for all skin conditions, repairing, healing, enhancing. Grafton Dermatology, defining healthier skin and beautiful bodies for over 15 years.
In Louisiana, we have some of the best fishing in the world. And in Toledo Bend, we have the best fishing in Louisiana. This 185,000-acre lake was voted the #1 bass lake in the nation for 2 years running. And with dozens of waterfront resorts and marinas, you can stretch out your stay as long as you like, or at least as long as your casting arm holds out. It's true, you can fish pretty much anywhere, but you'll catch fish in Louisiana. Plan your trip to Toledo Bend Lake Country today at louisianatravel.com.
Earlier you heard me mention David. Well, guess what? David has arrived, he showed up, and he's the one that, what we would call a guide on this lake. He's kind of assisting us in finding some fish. David, won't you give us a little input on this lake? I know you fished it hundreds of times since you live here.
This lake was built and constructed in 1996, stocked with Florida bass. So what we have to do is try and match the hatch as much as we can. Once we get to the brush piles, you won't be able to throw that lipless crankbait. If the wind's up, we'll probably have to go to a worm or something and just drop it on down there. Maybe a skinny dipper or something that's got a shad imitation style bait. Spinner bait would even work, or maybe a chatterbait or something like that that'll go through that cover real good.
I tell you what, guys, I have to listen to what David has to say for the simple reason we fished together for a long time. He was probably one of the primary fishermen way back in the day that made the long runs to Venice, and then we teamed up. We started fishing a few tournaments together. Where did we really meet? On the football field, huh?
Yeah, we met on the football field many years ago. We were both linebackers at Nicholls State University. And when I saw that Ronnie was a linebacker, I quickly realized that I was in the wrong position on the football field.
If y'all are the linebackers, I'm the quarterback. Let's go catch fish. Quit fooling around.
Let's go.
Wind is blowing. Well guys, it was calm this morning, but I guess the weatherman finally got it right. Wind's blowing like crazy. But we got a little island out here, a little underwater island. We're gonna try and throw a worm over the back of it, see if there's some fish waiting on the back. Still throwing a little shaky bait here.
Big fish, big fish.
Oh yeah, dude.
We got us a nice one.
Get him, boy.
Got us a nice one. Boy, David put us right on him.
Oh yeah. Good one, dude. That's a pretty fish.
He's got a mouthful of bait.
That's a nice one.
Not all doctors have tools. Head's got a few tools too. I tell you what, I threw about a 30-yard cast, or a 30-foot cast to be honest, which I can't throw quite 30 yards yet. But when I reeled it in, I hit the top of some treetops, jumped on it, got down in the treetops, kind of was worried that I was gonna lose him, ended up coming out. We got us a fish, a pretty good one. Didn't grab it. Bass!
Oh yeah.
Get him, Bo.
Oh yeah. That's a pretty fish.
You can look at it and you can see it spawned out.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that hook was barely in there. Holy cow. Yeah, that's a female, guys.
It's a good fish.
Pretty fish. We saw something swirl back up between that grass and those lilies. I threw up in there. I thought I was hung up. Barely set the hook.
I'm using 14-pound test, which is not a real good idea with all of the structure and the lily pads that we have here. So what we're doing is, I have a bobber stopper. You can see that right there. That bobber stopper is to not allow the weight to go way up on your line. And I have about a 1/16 weight lead sinker. So what I'm doing is, I'm putting that there and I'm bringing it all the way down so that weight doesn't ride up my line when I get hung up and stuff, and it'll stay near the sinker. I'm using a 3/0 wide gap super line hook, very sharp. You'll know when you get one hooked in your finger. And then we're using something that's possibly what we could get close to a brim color. I'll tell you what, man, the day's getting better and better.
Oh, yeah.
Get him, Bo.
Up. There he is. All right. Nice little bass. I'm just fishing a Cinco with a little bitty weight on it. Fishing it Texas style. Pretty fish. That one's a little fatter.
Kind of like me, a little fatter.
So I'm fishing a Cinco with a 1/4 ounce weight on it. Sometimes you can fish it wacky style like Ronnie had it earlier, where you have it hooked through the side, and that gives a totally different motion. But it's a great bait to fish. I don't have a fancy bobber stopper, but I'll just tie a knot in my line.
I just tie a knot in my line. Saves on money. Tell y'all what, while Bo's over here tying another knot in his line, we're gonna take a commercial break, get something to eat.
Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States. In fact, more skin cancers are diagnosed each year than all other cancers combined. Most skin cancers are caused by too much exposure to the sun. The good news is that you can do a lot to protect yourself. Catch skin cancer early so that it can be treated effectively. Finding it early is the best way to make sure it can be treated with success. Call Grafton Dermatology for a consultation. Living in the South, we all love our outdoor activities. Most skin cancers are caused by too much exposure to the sun. Also try to avoid direct sunlight between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Remember to wear protective clothing and cover your head. Using sunscreen with an SPF above 15 with reapplication every 3 to 4 hours can do wonders. You're smart, have fun, but be safe. Call Grafton Dermatology for a consultation.
Got some good friends over here. Ronnie Eschete, the master crawfish cooker. We got Ian Busby, the master crawfish fisher. Tell us what we're gonna do.
Well, we're gonna start off by getting this water good and hot. As speaking to Buzz, you know what I mean? He went out just a while ago, caught these crawfish, so they're gonna be fresh. Naturally, there's about 30 different species of crawfish. This is the Grafton crawfish caught right out of his pond. So they ought to be pretty good, right?
That's right.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the potatoes and the vegetables in before we start the crawfish. Let them go on ahead and cook for a little while. After they get tender and where we want them to be, we'll go on ahead and add the crawfish.
All right, folks, so we got the water going. We're gonna add some seasoning. I use some Jack Bay crab and shrimp boil, Zatarain's crab boil, and I like to add a little shrimp and crab boil, the garlic and onion flavor. So we'll go ahead and add that to the pot. So let that cook down a little bit. We'll start adding some stuff.
Now we're gonna go on ahead and start adding the vegetables. Bud Senior's gonna tell you guys the process on exactly how we do it.
So what we're gonna do, we got the seasoning in the pot. We boil it for about 30 minutes. Now we're gonna start adding the vegetables. We're gonna add onions, garlic. We're gonna add the potatoes. We want all that to cook and break that seasoning down prior to putting the crawfish in.
Sounds like a winner.
All right, buddy, here we go.
As you see, that was onions, garlic, cloves of garlic, some potatoes. Mushrooms, right?
Mushrooms.
Ah, great, great.
There we go. So we're gonna let this boil. We got good seasoning in the pot. It's gonna start breaking down. And what I mean by breaking down, the potatoes start getting soft, the onion will start getting soft, releasing those flavors. The garlic will start getting soft.
So it's all about the texture of the potato.
Yeah, because you don't want the potato to turn to mush. You want to have a good consistency when you come out and you dump on the table and everything is good.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'll tell you what, our vegetables are where they need to be. Buzz, I know we had just talked about it. You checked the potatoes just a minute ago and they were pretty tender, right?
You can call that fork tender. If you can push a fork in it, it slides right off. That's where we want to be. Now we're ready to put the crawfish in.
Yes, sir.
All right, Bo, let's get it in there, man.
All right, dude. Cool. Tell them about the soaking part. What's the part of that?
Well, to be honest with you, just like he said, we're gonna sink them and then we're gonna float them. And then we're gonna
Sink them again.
sink them again.
Exactly
and the
right.
reason for that is we're gonna get all those juices into the head because we boiled all of the water out of them, right?
Exactly right.
And then that's where your flavor comes in. Instead of having to put seasoning on top of your crawfish in the ice chest, now all your flavor's automatically in the head.
Right. So once a crawfish comes out of a pond, then that crawfish starts living off of its own body weight. It's taking everything that it has inside its shell and it's starting to live off of that. And it can live off of that 6 or 7 days. So the fact that we pulling them out of pond today and we're putting them in water right now, we don't have that problem. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna have crawfish with skinny tails. We're gonna have good, full, plump crawfish that we have to cook properly. And that's why we wanna dump them in. We're gonna boil them till we get the water boiling and the crawfish start to float and get buoyant. Once they get buoyant, we'll shut the fire down, we'll start sinking them. And then once we get the right flavor, then we'll go with it.
I see you got some corn over there. When we gonna add that corn?
At the end. If we add it too early, it'll get too spicy.
Right.
Right.
And it's
So-
pre-cooked corn?
Exactly. It's parboiled, you know, so it doesn't take that long. Actually, we love to dump cold corn in the pot because it actually kills the boiling process. So when we shut the fire off, we want it to stop cooking as quick as possible. That's why we don't want to bring it to too much of a rolling boil.
So the crawfish came to a nice boil, had a little foam up there. Tell us what we do next.
Now that they're floated to the top, that's what we had called, when we first put them in, they're sunk. Then we floated them, and now we're gonna sink them again. So this is the final stage of the cooking process. What you getting ready to add in there?
Now, right now, we're gonna add in the corn, let it start warming up, getting that seasoning soaking in there.
Get it under the water.
Yep.
That corn that we just put in was frozen.
It's frozen.
So now it's a waiting game,
Waiting
huh?
game.
Waiting game. Everybody
game.
wants to
Waiting
get,
Wait and taste.
everybody
Wait,
wants to
taste.
get on them, but you got to wait.
So once the crawfish sink, now we want to start tasting. So there's a couple of things we look for when we're tasting. Obviously, one is flavor. A lot of people think Cajun food is all spice. It's not. It's flavor. We want that tail meat to have just as much flavor as the juice in the head. So a couple of things we look for. When we peel a crawfish, we want the separation from the tail to the head. The thing we look for is we want to get, I don't know if you can picture this, but we see how we have separation from the tail meat to the tail shell. That's one thing that's going to let us know it's going to peel easy. The shell comes right out, one length of shell off, one pinch, and there you go. Crawfish and Thibodeau.
All right.
I'll tell you what, you did a great job. Buzz, I'll tell you what, it took a whole bunch of us to get this done today. One crawfish ball, 4 guys.
That's awesome, man. And that's what it is, you know. Crawfish ball in South Louisiana, there's people and friends and enjoying it.
Look, I ain't
All right, guys. Fresh crawfish, right from the back. Boiled to perfection. Can't beat it.
Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States. In fact, more skin cancers are diagnosed each year than all other cancers combined. Most skin cancers are caused by too much exposure to the sun. The good news is that you can do a lot to protect yourself. Catch skin cancer early so that it can be treated effectively. Finding it early is the best way to make sure it can be treated with success. Call Grafton Dermatology for a consultation.
Closed captioning provided by Humdinger Lures, the bass catchingest lures on the planet.
Miss Jan walked all the way down here and brought us these brisket sandwiches. Definitely give a shout out to her. They're really good. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't get service like this.
I can tell you why you got service like that. That was me singing that song.
All right.
Dang, bro. Can't beat that.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Can't beat that.
Fish on. Fish on.
Gooden. Oh, Gooden. Okay, come on here, baby. Come here, baby.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Well, I tell you what. Look at that. Look where the hook's at. I'm telling you, is that. And look, I flipped him in the boat. Unbelievable. Nice, healthy fish. Big as that fish is, he's got a little mouth. Not like me, huh? I got a big one. Nice catch.
Good job, bud.
Oh, get him, Bo. All right.
Another one.
I like the way you flipped him in there, boy. You're getting to be a regular professional.
I watch TV.
Well, me and Gary were just discussing, Ronnie, you think we need to find another place that's identical to this place since we patterned a few fish back in the back? He says, what you think we ought to do? I said, well, Gary, I says, if I was tournament fishing and I pulled out 5 or 6 fish in an area, what I would do is I would definitely try to make another pass. You know, why go locate new fish when we have some located? There's no way that we hit every square inch of this area. We passed through here, high wind, we were blowing through. So Gary said, I tell you what, if that's the case, let's go back there and see if we can catch a few more. That's what we did. Bo just caught one, I caught one. Been fishing for 10 minutes after we ate those good sandwiches from Miss Jan. I tell you what, it ought to work out well. We're gonna see if they go eat a little bit too.
Oh, yeah. Come on, babe.
Oh!
Little fighter.
Yeah, he was right where you caught that other one, Bo.
Uh-huh.
What a fish. Just had a fish swirl. I mean, that is such a small spot to try to get in.
Bass.
Oh, got him.
Oh, big boy. Darn.
Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Get down there, boy.
Hey, looks like you got a tuna on there, man. Come on, you bowled up.
He's stuck in something. He got around something.
Maybe we need to keep pressure on the line. We're gonna unstick him.
There he is. Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's a hammer. Cool. That's what it's all about, guys.
Fish. I'm gonna have to unpower pole to get to it. Oh, let's see if we can get it longer. What a day. Had to get to it. It's a struggle sometimes, brother. Now put that fish up against this fish. Hey, look, we had work today.
There you go.
Hey, that's fishing, brother.
That's awesome. 2 nice bass.
I guess it's time to let them go. Good job, brother.
All right, partner, good job. So Ronnie, I want to thank you for bringing me out here. We had a great time, caught some really nice fish.
Absolutely, man. I had a great time. Got to see your old partner that I didn't see in a long time. Not just that, his wife, Jan, brought us out those sandwiches. I mean, it hit the spot, man. I tell you, I didn't get to eat mine until a little bit later when y'all guys were fishing. But I tell you what, I really enjoyed it. I think this is one of the finest lakes that I've been on. A little skeptical early this morning, you know what I mean? When you go to a new place, you know, you just, man, am I gonna catch him? Am I not gonna catch him? I tell you what, it turned out great.
Yep. As always, we want to thank our troops. Without y'all out there doing what you do, we couldn't do what we do here. And until next time, keep on casting.
So Boudreaux, he goes visit his old buddy Doc Hebert. He says, "Hey Doc," he said, "I'm a little concerned about Marie. I think she's going deaf." He says, "Look, you can check that when you get home. Stand about 15 feet behind her." He said, "Ask her a question. If she don't reply, move a little closer. If she don't reply, move a little closer." "Oh, that's easy," Boudreaux says. So he gets home, he gets about 15 feet behind Marie. He says, "What's for supper, Marie?" He didn't get no reply. He moves a little closer. "Marie, what's for supper?" No reply. Gets a little closer and says, "Marie, I need to know what's for supper." No reply. Goes right behind her and says, "Marie, what's for supper?" Marie turns around and said, "Boudreaux, I told you 4 times, chicken and sausage gumbo."
Danse avec les filles, oui c'est juste pour m'amuser.